This is Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 55, hadith number 552. Allah's Apostle said, whenever a person is murdered unjustly, there is a share from the burden of the crime on the first son of Adam, for he was the first to start the tradition of murdering. You might be familiar with the story of Cain and Abel, Qayin and Habil, where Cain killed Abel. But the thing that really drew my attention here is the first son of Adam was the first to start the tradition of murdering. They did not, Allah's Apostle did not say the horrible act of murdering or the atrocity of murdering or just simply murdering. He said tradition. Well, what's a tradition? A tradition is a practice, a custom that's shared, that's passed down from generation to generation. So I guess murder in Islam is a tradition that's passed down from Cain, the first son of Adam. Next one I want to go to is Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 60, hadith number 260, and Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 77, hadith number 611. You can check these on your own. I'm not going to read every single one of them. And this is Muhammad saying this. When Muhammad went up to heaven, when he was taken to heaven by the angel Jibreel, he said that he saw Adam and Moses arguing. And this is what he heard. Moses said to Adam, "O Adam, you are our father who disappointed us and turned us out of paradise." Then Adam said to him, "O Moses, Allah favored you with his talk to you directly, and he wrote the Torah for you with his own hand." So the Torah is also written by God, Allah with his own hand. Okay. So why do you blame me for action which Allah had written in my fate 40 years before my creation? So Adam confuted Moses. Adam confuted Moses. Adam confuted Moses. The Prophet added, repeating the statement 3 times. Let's keep this in mind just for 1 second. Now moving on, Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 93, hadith number 608. This talks about when the angel Gabriel, took Muhammad up to heaven, to all these levels of heaven. Now, it's actually a very long narration. I'm not going to go through it right now because it was actually so interesting that I want to come back and revisit it later. But sticking to Adam. The Prophet met Adam over the nearest heaven, which was heaven number 1. Gabriel said to the Prophet, "He is your father. Greet him." The Prophet greeted him, and Adam returned his greeting. And it keeps going from one heaven to the next, where it's actually a stupid story, or it's a funny story, where Jibreel is like almost knocking on the next heaven's doors, and the angel's saying, "Who is it?" And he says, "It's me," you know, like, "Is anyone with you?" "Oh yeah, Muhammad's with me." "Has he been called for?" "Yes, he has." They repeat this over and over until he got to the 7th heaven. Anyway, now Muhammad goes on and says, this is still within the same hadith, "On each heaven there were prophets whose names I had mentioned and whom I remember. Idris on the 2nd heaven, Aaron on the 4th heaven, another prophet whose name I don't remember on the 5th heaven, Abraham on the 6th heaven, and Moses on the 7th heaven, because of his privilege of talking to Allah directly." So here we see that there were heaven stacked up in 7 different layers, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with Adam being the 1st heaven and Moses being the 7th heaven. So going back to the previous hadith where Moses and Adam were seen arguing with one another as to, "You got me kicked out of the Garden of Eden or paradise," and then Moses is like, "Well," or vice versa, and Adam's like, "Well, this was written in my fate." How could they have had this conversation if each one's in a different heaven? That was question number 2. How could have Moses and Adam communicated or argued with one another and Muhammad to have witnessed this if Adam is in heaven number 1 and Moses is in heaven number 7? Now for a little bit of laughter. Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 55, hadith number 543. The Prophet said, Allah created Adam, making him 60 cubits tall. Now, a cubit. A cubit, actually there's many different definitions of cubits based on what region you're in. And a cubit in that part of the world around that time was roughly around 17 inches or 44 centimeters. So making Adam 60 cubits tall, that means he made him about 85 feet tall or 26 meters tall. That's a little bit tall. Now, the same hadith goes on saying, any person who will enter paradise will resemble Adam in appearance and figure. However, people have been decreasing in stature since Adam's creation. You think we've gone down from 26 meters to about, I don't know, 1.5, 2 meters max. We've gone down by 24 meters, and you think people have been decreasing in stature? Alright. Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 55, hadith number 544, narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, the first group of people who will enter paradise will be glittering like the full moon, and those who will follow will glitter like the most brilliant star in the sky. They will not urinate, relieve nature, spit, nor have any nasal secretions. Their combs will be made of gold, and their sweat will smell like musk. The aloes wood will be used in their centers. Their wives will be huris. All of them will look alike and will resemble their father Adam in stature, 60 cubits tall. So now we see that once we go up to heaven, to paradise, not only will we get, well, whatever, once we get up there, we're going to look like Adam, we're going to resemble him exactly and be 60 cubits tall, 26 meters, 85 feet tall, which is kind of a cool thing. Now, I just feel bad for those virgins. I hope they're also the same, those 70 virgins, I hope they're also the same height, otherwise that would kind of, things wouldn't work out. The last thing I'd like to go to is Sunan at-Tabarri, volume 3, page 60 through 64. When God made Adam come down from the garden, he was so tall that his feet were on the earth and his head touched the heaven. He thus could hear the conversations of the angels of heaven and their prayers. Adam, in his loneliness, found in them pleasant fellowship. The angels, however, were frightened by him and complained to God in their prayers and invocations. God therefore reduced Adam's size, bringing him down close to earth. And then when Adam no longer could hear the angels, he became lonely and complained to God in his prayers, and that's how God made his wife for him. Or for that reason, because he became lonely. Alright, that is all I have for today. And as you can see, just like other Abrahamic religions, Adam does exist. However, there's slight differences, such as it is never mentioned in the main book the name of his wife, Hawa, Eve. He was 60 feet tall. When Allah created him, he blew his spirit into him, and it took him 40 years to be animated. Adam is in first heaven and had argued with Moses and met Muhammad, and when at first he was so tall that his feet would touch the earth and his head was in heaven. Actually, that brings up something. If he's that tall, if he's 26 meters tall and his head could poke through heaven, that means if we can go up 26 meters into the air, we can actually be in heaven. I think, haven't we done that? So have we not gone through heaven several times? Okay, I want to say thank you very much for joining. You have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.